I'm Jeff Rich, Director of Layman Ministries. From time to time, our organization gets cars donated to the ministry for various overseas projects, like this BMW 328i. It's a Series 3 hardtop convertible. Very cool car. It can be a hardtop like this, or it can turn into a convertible like this. And the thing about this car is that a retired couple bought this car. It was apparently a corporate lease car, I believe is what they were telling me, and they kind of had a bucket list as they retired of things they wanted to do, and they wanted to get a BMW convertible and drive around America with it, and they did that, and they marked that thing off their bucket list, and they donated this car to our organization. We've had some pretty cool cars donated over the years, and the money from the sale of these cars goes to one of our overseas humanitarian mission projects. For instance, the sale of this car is going to go towards a girls' orphanage in southeast India in the state of Tamil Nadu. We've been running a boys' orphanage there for about 7 years now, but the government won't allow us to have boys and girls mixed in the same building, even if they have separate rooms. So we're currently, right now as I speak, building a girls' facility, a dorm, cafeteria. And so the money is going to a really good cause there. If you could see some of the situations there with the orphan kids in India, painful thing for us to have to turn away young girls that needed a place to go because they had no place else to go. A lot of these kids live on the streets and such. And the other half of the money from the sale of this BMW is going to go towards our medical aviation project in the country of Vanuatu, in the remote jungle of the island of Gowa. Now, this is probably one of the most remote places in the world, and we have a medical clinic there, and we have an aviation program, and we have schools there, and we have a complete operating theater that's in there in the clinic building there. I just want to share that my background is automotive. I used to run an automobile restoration and a classic car street rods shop. Plus I've also managed body shops, so I know quite a bit about mechanics and body work and things like that. So I'm going to tell you everything about this car you need to know, the good things and the bad things. Like I say, the couple bought the car and they wanted to do a road trip. So the first thing they did is they put brand new brakes all the way around on this car before they did the one trip that they did, and a brand new battery. And when we got the car, the upper radiator hose was leaking a little bit, so I replaced both the upper and the lower radiator hoses. And I noticed that the radiator nipple had a little bit of a crack in it, so I ended up putting a brand new radiator in it too, because whoever buys this car, I want it to be mechanically sound. Everything mechanically about this car is in perfect shape. I mean, the transmission works great, the car doesn't use any oil. I had it in storage for the winter in our studio and went down there this summer, pushed a button, started right up, purred like a kitten, really. And it's such a dream car to drive. If you've never driven a BMW, well, you're missing out, because BMWs and Audis have really tight suspension, and this car is mechanically really sound. The only thing that I have noticed about this car was the fact that it looks like the front bumper has been repainted, and so there's a little bit of peeling in a few places on the front bumper here, just right around the headlights. And I don't think it's going to really be going anywhere. Also, when we got the car, not too long ago, I put brand new BMW approved type tires on it. So brand new tires, hardly any miles on the tires. And of course, it's a convertible and it's a 4-seater. It's got a really cool thing in the back here that is interesting to talk about. You put the seat forward like that so people can get in. And inside here, there is a little door that you can open. And inside that door is this material that plugs into these holes right here. And you can put kind of like a canvas over the back seat. So it makes it like a 2-door coupe. And you can stick your luggage and things like that there if you're doing a road trip. It's really nice. That is if you want to have the top down. The other thing that's really nice about this car is that on a nice sunshiny day, you can pull over to the side of the road, flip a button, and the top retracts into the trunk. And so you have a really nice convertible that sits 4 people pretty comfortably. But if rain comes, or if you're in an area you want more security, push a button and the top goes back and latches here, and it works flawlessly. The nice thing about that too is that a lot of convertibles have a soft top on them, and that soft top is prone to leaks. The cloth weathers, and it also if it's cars parked someplace in a city, you know, somebody can take a knife and cut that material open and break into the car. So this car, when you retract the top, is actually like a two-door hardtop, and nobody's going to mess with it that way. Only other thing I've noticed about this car is one little teeny scratch there and one here, one small scuff back here. And when I think of BMWs, I grew up with BMWs, and I used to have an R69 BMW motorcycle. My dad had a BMW, and when I think of BMWs, I think black, you know, because that's just to me the color of a BMW, and then the famous BMW logo on the front. The only other things I've noticed about this car is there's a scuff on the back bumper, just a small one, and on this side there's a scrape. You can't see it from the camera angle that we're at, but there's a small scrape here in the finish, and then the rocker arm's got a small scrape and a really shallow indentation in it. The car runs beautifully, mechanically ready to go and be driven. It's got 99,000 miles on it, and everything inside of the car works perfectly. The only one thing that I did notice about it is that since these are a convertible, they have an automatic locking glove compartment. And so if the top's down and you turn the car off, a solenoid locks the glove compartment, and these are famous for malfunctioning. And when I got this car, I couldn't get into the glove box. And so I checked with several different forums, and they said you have to force them open. So if you use this little screwdriver here, you can go into it like this and push and just turn it, and it'll open right up, and then turn it back and it locks. Also, you'll see that it has the original manuals with it, all the books. This is really hard to find on a used car, especially one that's over 10 years old. So you have all the owner manuals and the booklets to go with the car, which is a really nice thing to have. Automatic transmission, it's not a 5-speed. All the electronics on the dash work perfectly. AC blows cold air. It's really a super nice car. I've taken it on a couple short trips just to make sure it was mechanically sound. The leather inside is really good shape. There's a little bit of rubbing on the passenger seat right here, as you can see, and but nothing like the leather is not torn or anything like that. It sets 4 pretty comfortable, but we've had 4 people in this car and driven up the river with it and back, and it was very comfortable. Has the original BMW floor mats still in it. The leather's in good shape. The top doesn't leak at all. I've taken it through a car wash with the top up and never had any water get inside the car. All the lights and everything on it work. And we can arrange for shipping for this car as well. We've done this with several other cars. We've had some really cool cars donated over the years, and depending on where you're at, the prices vary, and the buyer would be responsible for the shipping costs, of course. It's about all there is to say about this car, but it's a really nice BMW.